just do this cold open. We will come back and introduce Cory in a moment. But Cory, is it easier counting tickets or is it easier counting chips?
Well, I only counted chips for 1 year, the last year at the resort. So I've done more ticket counting than chip counting at this point, and it works pretty well, but we can't use the scale like we could for the chips. So that was one benefit. They're much heavier.
Chips.
They're much heavier and more difficult to transport.
We'll have to figure out like some type of mechanical Turk, like automating ticket counting, something like that.
We should do the store swag of a money clip, an ACPE money clip, so everyone can just clip their tickets.
Giant stacks of tickets.
I know, we need like the money counter machines like the banks and the casinos have.
Yes, that's how I felt. I felt like a dealer. It's actually kind of great.
We can do this. We'll write a grant.
Perfect.
I'll just get you one of those visors that's the clear green.
Absolutely.
Which now means that we have to talk about The Hangover, which then now means that we have to talk about movies, which is what we were going to talk to Cory about anyway. But let's do a quick introduction first.
Perfect.
We're glad to be back for episode 3. Still not canceled, Mark.
I still can't believe it.
Still not canceled. With a guest who actually may need an introduction for several folks listening and watching. But for those who have been at ACPE the past few years, and the fact that we've had ACPE the past few years is because of Cory's great work. Manager of all things that are complicated, to all things that are fun, to all things that are just like full-on communication, ticket counting, strategically thinking. What's been so much fun the past really both 2 years, but this year especially, Cory, was watching you with the lodge layout and the map, and us having been there for a couple of years now, and really figuring out that like this thing would actually be better there, and these vendors would, you know, what they want to do is a better fit for these spaces. And so like everything from counting tickets, when that should probably be something that we should have a machine doing at this point in our lives, to getting registration out the door, caring for and wrangling a board that sometimes is probably more work than her children at home. The care for everything from the schedule to the presenters to our sponsors and partners is due to Cory. So welcome to episode 3 of the Plugged In podcast, Cory. So happy to have you with us to talk about the conference this evening and ACPE, but more importantly, movies. And we don't necessarily need to revisit The Hangover. Mark, we're going to touch on your pop culture moment here in just a minute, but know that like Cory is the best person to talk movies and music with. Her encyclopedic knowledge of all of this is vast. One of my favorite people to get movie recommendations from. And in fact, Cory, what are we both going to rewatch here really soon because of some recent sad events?
Conclave.
I
feel like it's all we talk about when we see each other.
Oh, ACPE friends, if you have not seen it, like watch it soon.
So good. It's so good. And now,
yes,
with the Pope's passing, it just feels so. I have to rewatch it.
It's so timely.
Yeah, it really
so timely. Any other movies that you would recommend for the ACPE watching community, Cory?
Absolutely. One movie that I just watched that I was kind of like Conclave, really surprised by, went into it thinking like, okay, we'll see, was Martha, the Martha Stewart movie. I'm a big Martha Stewart fan, but I didn't really know that much about her, and it's super fascinating to watch. All of the interviews are with her, and she's very truthful and honest and direct. And it was really eye-opening of like what actually went down with her prison sentence and just her life in general. I was so fascinated by it, would highly recommend it. She's just a super, super interesting individual. And just the way it was done was really, it was well filmed. And I learned a lot about her. She's very sassy and fierce, which is really fun to watch. I also watched Companion, the movie that I think it just came out on streaming with Jack Quaid, who is Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan's son, with the like android companion that kind of things go astray in some vacation house. Very, very good as well. Jack Quaid is great. It's kind of hard to not see both of his parents in him, but that's sort of the fun of it. And so those were 2 that I watched recently that I've really enjoyed. Although I will say a lot of my watching in the evenings has been focused on Summer House. Are you
hopefully less annoying than White Lotus, because I I know I'm supposed to be able to do it, and I just can't.
No, not a White Lotus fan?
I get it, but they're so annoying. I will take another run at it. I will take another run at it. Okay, so but not Summer House yet.
Yeah,
Like,
Summer House is great.
All thumbs up.
Well, yeah, all thumbs up. It's just a ridiculous but wonderful reality show about like New Yorkers that go to the Hamptons for the summer and share a house and engage in all sorts of shenanigans and ridiculous fights and drama, and it's just I absolutely love it. So we've been watching that, and that's been great. I feel like at the end of the night, sometimes that's what I want, is just some ridiculous drama to settle into.
Yeah. So. I'm all for shenanigans. Did you get to watch the Dylan film yet? Back to movies really quickly.
No.
A complete
unknown. We've had that on our list, and it's one of those things that every night that we're like, oh, there's nothing to watch. I don't know what to watch. The next day we realize, my God, why do we keep forgetting about this?
Yeah.
But really want to.
It's really good. It ends in this kind of interesting spot, and I artistically know why it ends in that spot. But all of it up until like when I was like, oh, I kind of want more than the ending that we got. It's Timothée Chalamet. He's a pleasure to watch in almost everything right now, and on this one, he really he does a really good job. The spirit of Dylan.
I've heard some of those songs that he recorded, and it's amazing.
It's good.
How accurate they are.
It's good.
Really good.
So speaking of songs, Mark, you don't even have to listen to recordings. You were on an adventure this weekend, as long as you're willing to share it, like with.
Yeah, but I would like to point out that you didn't ask me about the movies I like.
Oh, Mark, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, because I doubt you'd watch anything so stupid as the things that I watch.
Oh.
I was like,
no.
Wow, these are all so cultured.
Remember, we started with the Hangover.
Yeah, we're setting the bar low. Don't worry.
Well,
all genres are welcome here.
Cory, when's the last time you saw Hot Tub Time Machine 2?
It's been a while, but I did have a friend that had a hot tub that anytime we referred to the hot tub, it was, do you want to do Hot Tub Time Machine? So, that's a little nostalgic for me.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that's been a while, Mark, but not surprising to hear that that's the first one you mentioned.
Yep. So if anybody ever wants to talk sci-fi, and I have not seen Companion yet, but it is on my list of things to see. Sci-fi is on my list, and kind of running back into TV shows. I read the Wool books quite a while ago. Hugh Howey wrote Wool, which was Apple took and made into Silo. That's the Silo series that they've had 2 seasons of now. 2 seasons or 1? 2, I think. So that kind of leads into the latest show that I just recently watched, which was Paradise. Have you watched Paradise?
Not yet.
It's on Hulu, and you need to watch it. It's, okay. When my friends recommended it, they said it's about a Secret Service agent and the president is killed, and that doesn't give anything away. And I watched the first episode, and at the end, I went, I'm probably going to watch this all in an entire weekend. It was great. So.
And did you?
I did. Actually, I've watched the season twice now, and it's one of those that you do pick up a lot the second time around, like a lot. So.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a great show. Highly recommend that show. But more to why I sound like I sound today, which is very congested and kind of stuffed up. It's because I just spent 4 days in the desert in Coachella. I was at Stagecoach, where I got to see lots of wonderful musical artists and acts and performances. But it wasn't because I was just screaming my head off. It was just very windy and dusty, and it, even keeping a bandana on your face is tough. Now, for all of our country fans out there, and it is kind of funny how ACPE always comes back to music. Music has a huge, I don't know if you realize it, but ACPE always has a big music piece to it. Whether it's the karaoke from hell or the rockaoke or our DJ Joe or whatever, music has always been a big piece of the conference. And obviously last year was Rocket, so the whole conference was music last year, but I did get to see some very interesting acts at Stagecoach, including a DJ who goes by the name of Paris Hilton, because it was Paris Hilton, which was pretty great. And Paris Hilton brought out Lizzo, so I got to see Lizzo, which was also pretty awesome. Let's see, Mumford & Sons, Zach Bryan, Luke Combs, with special guests, Good Charlotte. I saw Creed which was great. It was really pretty special, and just got to spend a lot of time with friends. So I sound like this.
So essentially, Stagecoach is like a festival for old people. Sounds like maybe.
No, it is not at all. It is country Coachella. Let's just call it that.
There was a meme recently. Some professor asked like who this person was, and his class was young, and so nobody knew who it was. And somebody said, "Oh, it's Princess Diana." It was young Paris Hilton. And so the professor's like, "I'm just gonna go jump off a bridge now."
Yeah, so it's all over.
I have an interesting story from the
older.
event, right? So I was there with some friends. We stayed in an Airbnb and we had a very large group of friends. We probably had 5 different houses. There were so many people. And one of the groups met us and they'll throw a little blurb out for our DJ Julia, who will be DJing the tree houses if we get to that in a minute. One of Julia's favorite EDM groups is Sophie Tucker, and I was watching Sophie Tucker at Stagecoach, which was pretty great. If anybody knows Swedish House Mafia, Sophie Tucker were part of that. Sophie and Tucker, I should say. But during that, I met one of the girls who was staying at our friend's house, and my friend says, she's a high school counselor, and we're jumping around and dancing, in this, DJ set, which was pretty great. And then she said, we were just kind of chatting, and she said, yeah, I was born in Oregon, and now I live in California, and I'm a counselor here. And I said, oh, where? And she said, Coos Bay. And that was fine. I was like, oh, I'm from Newberg. I grew up in Newberg, and I, live in Washington. So later that night, while we were waiting for Luke Combs, we were all just kind of sitting on the ground, and another girl from the house came up, and this other woman said, hey, Mark, this is Maddie or something. Maddie, tell him where you're from. And she's kind of gives her this funny look, and she goes, well, I'm from Newberg, Oregon, which is where I'm from. And I kind of went, wow, like, what are the odds of that? And she goes, yeah, I was born in Washington, but raised, in Newberg. And then she starts like reciting her schools. She goes, I went to this school, I went to this school, and I went to this school. And I said, you went to Crater Elementary School? And she said, yeah. I said, do you remember a Mrs. Elliott? And she said, she was my 3rd grade teacher. And I said, that's my mom. By now, like, our group of 20 people have all stopped talking, and they're just watching. And her face is just like shocked. And we just kind of ran through everything that was in my mom's classroom. She remembered my mom had a reading loft that was built for her classroom. My mom had roadkill recovered a beaver once and had it stretched and skinned. That was in the classroom. And then we talked about my dad, who was a high school band director in Newberg for 41 years, I think, and how she remembered them. And her parents still tell her when they see my parents out walking with their dog. Newberg's not a big place, but I say this in that it was so bizarre because there's like 40,000 people at this show. I ran into this person who was my mom's 3rd grade student, and it just was this. Even I couldn't tell you much about my 3rd grade teacher. She remembered so much about my mother, so much about her classroom. And she said she just made a profound difference in her life at 3rd grade. And, it kind of speaks to education and what we do here. And it's just amazing, like amazing.
Adding that it's a beautiful
So cool.
small world. Like when you travel to the desert, like to the real desert to meet people, right, from your hometown. But another small world connection is that Tim Lauer, longtime ACPE attendee in earlier generations of his career, he has been the principal at Mabel Rush now for 5 or 6 years there in Newberg. And so
guess who went to Mabel Rush? I went to Mabel Rush.
Oh my God. Overlapping Venn diagrams.
I lived a few blocks away.
Wow. Yeah, Tim's been the principal there, was the principal at Meriwether Lewis and Portland Public Schools for a long time. That's where I met him and made the jump to Newberg when Dr. Morlock was the superintendent there years ago, and has stayed on and just thinks that community is dear, his staff, his families, his students, and what a small ACPE world and community we have. But it's also large because you met someone at Stagecoach who travels in the same circles, 2 people.
I mean, not to get too far into it. I know we're here to talk about Cory. I'm sorry, but
Right.
I mean, you may cut this. I don't know. Chris from Suislaw, last name,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes, Robotham.
Yes, Robotham. We were sitting next to each other during lunch one day, and he was like, I said, oh, you're from Oregon. I said, what, were you a teacher? How did you get in this position? And he said, I was a band director. And I said, oh, My dad was a band director for many years in Oregon. He was the outstanding music educator like 2 or 3 times in the state. And he's looking at me and he looks at my name tag and I go, his name was Dick Elliott. And he goes, "You're kidding." And I said, "No." And Chris is probably, I hope he listens to this. He told me,
He's been leaving comments
I
on
know.
Spotify.
Oh, is he? Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
He said that he still has recordings of my dad from when he clinicked his band. And that they were so important the way my dad was communicating with his band that he still kept them and still has them. And so, it is a small world.
It's a small world. And hi, Chris. Shout out to Chris because he's left comments on our Spotify feed, which I was so startled when I looked at the Spotify feed. And yeah, excellent. Excellent. One last shout out and then we'll get to Cory. And that's because Brian Mullins also made me laugh this weekend while we're talking about Chris. I was loading things late at night and I had to upload the video twice because there was just a little bit of like things that I'm still trying to figure out. And I went in and I'm like, oh, there's a comment on the YouTube video, thinking that it's probably like, oh boy, there's a comment on the YouTube video. And it was Brian Mullins and it was just burst. Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time. So it brought me joy all weekend. Yes. Yes. So Cory, we got your movies. We got Mark's movies, Hot Tub Time Machine, and more importantly, the Stagecoach update. Should we talk a little bit about ACPE and what you've got lined up, what you're excited about, what you hope other people are as excited about as you're excited about, all the things?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
I don't even know where to begin. I can't believe it's less than a week away. Well, I guess it's a week exactly today. I keep thinking Monday, but we're a week out. I'm excited about all of it. So I mentioned counting tickets, just a little preview. I've been counting these bad boys all day. These are our diamond tickets for diamond cards. And then these are our little tickets for the store. And so I'm super excited about them. So we have 3 ticket types at ACPE. Every year we have kind of a different unique economy system that we use. There's always a raffle ticket that is used for raffle entries. And we have raffles that take place both evenings, Wednesday and Thursday night at 9:00. And we have some really great items. We raffle off 3 items each night. And then we also have our ACPE store, of course, the most popular store with a bunch of fun items. Again, planned, it'll be in the same location as last year. And to purchase items from the store, you need one of these, meaning our red tickets that say store. It's basically a $10 value, so it gets you either a drink or you can add these up for the value of the item you'd like to purchase at the store. So if it's $20, you need 2 of these. You can also exchange 2 of these for 1 raffle ticket. If you're less interested in store items and drinks and you want to just focus on the raffle, you can do that with these. And then we have the diamond tickets that are white that have a little red diamond logo on them. And these are used specifically for our diamond sponsor bars. And so that's kind of the ticket system. You'll get some tickets when you check in. And then the real challenge is to get them from sponsors as you visit booths throughout the showcase each night. We also have a fun activity this year called Sponsor Bingo. I don't have the card in front of me, but it's a little fun bingo card that attendees will be able to go around and get stamps with bingo daubers from sponsors. I have so many bingo daubers in my house. The box is massively heavy.
I think that the word dauber, like bingo daubers, is one of the most happy words.
It's great.
Yes, right. It just, yes.
I mean, you say that.
And, yeah.
At our last board meeting, we talked about daubers for, I swear, 15 minutes.
I was like, I thought you meant your school board. I forgot about the ACPE board meeting. I thought you meant your school board meeting. And I'm like, why is the school board discussing?
How could you forget that conversation?
Yeah, we talked about bingo daubers for like 15 minutes. I think Cory was going to lose her mind.
I think I said, okay, we're all professionals here. Let's wrap this up.
Yes. So that's right. We had some board members who did not know that word.
What a dauber was, yes.
That was, yeah. Yes.
So there will be lots of bingo dauber education this year because we have about 100 of them that the sponsors will have, and they'll stamp your little bingo cards as you complete different items, and then you can turn them into the registration desk on Friday. And
so we're making it harder to cheat on bingo is what we're doing.
Yeah, no cheating. No cheating allowed.
No cheating.
If you bring your own dauber, That says something about you.
I'm also super excited. This year we have moved our music situation out to one of the outdoor pavilions. We'll have Wednesday night our live band karaoke. Karaoke from Hell is coming again. They'll be out there with a really nice dance floor. There's a sponsor that will be located out there with air hockey and foosball, and we'll have a bar. It'll be lit with fire pits, and I think it's going to be really fun. And then we'll have DJ Joe out there the next night. We've been in the kind of bar area the last couple years, so I think it'll be fun to try something new.
Yes. Cory, I want to highlight what you're talking about as we get ready for the conference. This sense of we work really hard during the day. I think it's 100+ people who present during the day. If we're not presenting, we're in sessions, we are networking with each other, we're learning from each other, we're talking, and then the evening comes, and I think it is the unique part of ACPE. I know we've talked about it a few times. The focus of this podcast forever will not be just how great the conference is, but it's really great. And part of it is this care that you're talking about and seeing it on your face for those watching and hearing it in your voice about the excitement that comes when it's like after dinner and then everybody's going and getting freshed up, getting their sweatshirts on or their shiny jackets this year, or their whatever makes them feel comfortable and shows their personality, and then comes out and gets to hang out together and have social time together. It's a magical space, and you've cared for it so well. So sorry for that interlude, and take it away.
Sorry,
again.
I'm looking at the weather forecast.
I don't want to talk about it. I know.
It keeps changing. It was like rain one day, not rain the next. So like, we're not going to borrow trouble yet.
Yeah, not yet. But I have been, I wouldn't allow myself to look beyond the 10-day, before the 10-day. And I've just been looking every day now since, and it provides me a lot of deep stress, but I'm hoping for the best. The good thing is that I will say, even if it rains, everything will still be fine. We have one outdoor activity aside from the golf tournament Wednesday morning. We have one outdoor activity, in the evenings in a covered, heated pavilion. It's a pretty short walking path. We'll be in a different pavilion than last year. And so, most of us are used to getting a little bit wet, and it's no big deal. So I'm still very hopeful that even if it rains and we don't luck out like we have, it'll still be okay.
Having survived downpour years many times in the past, I know that the conference is great, rain or shine.
And the facilities are great. We don't have to worry about any flooding tents or anything.
Possible electrocution.
Yeah, we're safe.
Yes.
There's also a lot of really fun sponsor activities that I'm excited for in the evenings. We'll have 2 different casinos, one blackjack, one roulette. We'll have the air hockey and foosball outside. We'll have a digital caricature artist, which I think is going to be really neat. Lots of fun late night snacks. We'll have late night pizza deliveries again. So there's going to be just a lot of activities going on throughout the evenings for everybody to enjoy. So I agree, the evenings are so much fun, even though I'm so tired by that point. And I think I have a moment where I think, I'd really just like to lay down. But then the moment, you get out there and everyone is having fun, I never want to leave, and I have to force myself to go to bed.
And then you look at your watch and it's midnight and it's like, what?
Yeah, I told Mark, we talked last week, and I said, if I'm up past 12, send me to bed.
You said you're not coming to the treehouse, and I said you have to come to the treehouse, and I'll send you home at midnight.
Yeah,
fair.
Rachel, you have to hold me to that.
And then we take over, and yes. And if
I wish I
trusted
you more, Mark.
And if we're still at the tree houses at 6 a.m., you have to tell us all to go to take a nap to be ready for breakfast, as Derek Stewart would say. No missing breakfast.
Indeed. Mark, I trust you. I don't trust you in terms of telling someone to stop having fun partying.
You know me so well.
Cory, back to the pizzas. I may need to steal ones for some folks. We have not touched on earmuffs, Mark Elliott, because this triggers him every time. We have not touched on the people who may conspire with me on the dance floor. And thanks for adding that to Sked so that people would know that we can learn together. And I think that we're going to get Mark to do the hustle with us this year.
Too much line dancing last weekend.
So you learned how to do it.
So perfect.
No.
That's perfect timing.
Yeah. Great environment for learning. All right, Cory.
But yeah, so pizza will be delivered. We usually have it kind of dropped in one spot, but we'll make sure we disperse it throughout so everybody, wherever they are, can enjoy. One sponsor is going to have a pretzel wall. I'm very curious to see how this is executed. I think I'm envisioning stuffed pretzels on pegs, which I'm hopeful is.
I think that's my hope. Like you're in Germany, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes, in a beer
Yes.
hall. Yes.
But what if it was
Go
a
grab
cabin,
pretzel.
like a log cabin, but it was a pretzel cabin and you could just eat off the wall? I'm envisioning something else.
A wall made of, like built of pretzel.
Pretzel is the adjective and wall is the noun.
Well, as
Pretzels.
lived in a log cabin, I feel like that would be terrible because there's already really bad bugs and bats and like birds and squirrels that love the logs. And so I feel like if it were made of pretzels, the situation would just not be great.
If somebody did have a dietary restriction, what should they do?
Yes, that's a great question. So on the attendee registration form, there was a field to enter any dietary restrictions, which we take into very serious consideration. We send them to the lodge. If there's anything super specific, I coordinate directly, with that person and Skamania to make sure they get the plate they need. If there's anything that needs to be communicated or just, confirmation that it was received, they can just email me or find me on site. Usually Skamania is really, really great about labeling their buffets with, if it's gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian. But of course, there are some restrictions that are a little more unique than that require, a more individualized plate. And they're very welcome to do that.
There's one very specific dietary restriction I am thinking about. Are you thinking about the same thing I am?
This was the question we should ask next for our
Well,
friend
yeah,
Shelby.
I mean, it's Shelby wants to know if there's going to be mystery balls that we don't know.
Really hope not. There are no mystery balls on the banquet order. There is some fish. They always have fish that I always hope is not stinky. That's the one thing, fish at conferences. You never know if it's going to permeate the building or not. But there will be no mystery balls, no mystery meats of any sort.
No pineapple marinated shrimp that's sat in the pineapple juice all day and is falling apart. Okay.
No. Skamania's chef is top notch.
Chef's kiss.
Yes.
I think your cat is pretty interested in the stinky
fish.
Yeah,
I know.
Yes.
I know.
And the cat's name is?
This is Rilo.
I like that name.
Yeah, she's my old little lady that's very snuggly and needy for attention these days.
What a beautiful, beautiful cat.
Yeah.
Yes. And the reason we can joke about mystery balls and overly marinated shrimp skewers and Scotch eggs is because the food has been so stellar the past few years.
So we do have a board member who has a specific request. She will not probably come out of her room if there isn't bacon. Will there be bacon?
There will be bacon. There will be bacon every day. It is, I love it, on Skamania's breakfast menu. So what they do for breakfast, lunch, and dinner is every day they have a rotating buffet. So they make the same thing every Monday, the same thing every Tuesday. But on the breakfast menu, every day, it says bacon. So you don't have to ever worry that there will be no bacon, which is very important.
Rachel, where in the Discord server should I start a discussion about the correct way to make bacon?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I'll put it in general.
I'm going to play the role of Chris Hagel, and Marc and Rachel are going to argue about how to make bacon. We will probably not be alone, actually.
Oh, I'm sure that there'll be a lot of opinion.
Cory, what else is on your mind as we get ready for conference week next week?
Well, I'm excited about the tree houses. Even though I threatened to not make an appearance, I will make an appearance. Excited about the tree houses, excited to see Marc DJ, excited to see Julia DJ. You're DJing, right, Marc?
I'll jump in at some point. I got new decks. I got little mini decks, and I'm really excited to bring them. So
one of my favorite moments from last year's conference was I was going to go to bed, and then I thought, I'm going to go down. I should check out the tree houses, just make sure everything's, going smoothly. Yeah. So I went down there by myself, and I got to do some spinning with Marc. I was not good at it, but I got to experiment a little there. And then the two of you had the sweetest moment on the deck. where you were just kind of bouncing, nodding your heads, playing some music, and I got the cutest little video of it. And sometimes I get little flashbacks on my phone, and I just think it's the sweetest thing ever.
Put it in the treehouse. And this is an offer that I'll extend to anybody because I've done this before. I am not a professional DJ, but I can do the basics of a mixer. If you want to do it because you've always looked at it and thought, I just want to try it. I just want to try it one time. I will happily teach you. I'll give you the headphones and you can go to town and have fun. It's a good time. So offer stands.
It was really fun. There was an MIA drop that was on point. It was a good time.
That'll be, you can mix that one this year.
All right. I'll see what I can do. Let's see what else. Well, the golf tournament, I think, is going to be a super fun time. I mean, I will not be participating, but it seems like there's a lot of, fun chatter. And I think it's been, a new thing that we've done. I know that you did golf tournaments in the past, but it's Skamania. This is only our second year. And I'm excited because we'll have some fun, different ways to play on some of the holes. Skamania has something called fling golf, where it's kind of like I don't know, what do you compare it to? Like a lacrosse? It looks like a lacrosse.
Yeah, it's like mini
stick.
lacrosse, yeah.
Yeah, and so you have to actually fling the ball. And so I think that that's going to be really fun. And I love a wacky, golf tournament.
We certainly don't want to take ourselves too seriously with this.
Yeah, the golf tournament was really fun last year. People really embraced the theme. I remember Managed Methods rolling up in their golf cart.
Oh my gosh.
Wild costumes. It was pretty epic.
It was so good.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
We also have two great keynotes this year. We have Mirko Chardon and Sylvia Acevedo. I'm really excited for them. Mirko will be on Thursday and Sylvia will be closing for us on Friday. Sylvia was the CEO of the Girl Scouts of America, and I got to do a little pre-conference call with her, and I think it's going to be really great. She had some really fun stories to tell from her time there with the Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
And has done a lot of really important work with STEM, specifically with girls. So I think that's really exciting and will be fun to hear about.
Can I jump in and put in a plug for Tuesday night trivia? Because it's...
Yes!
I mean...
I can't believe I forgot trivia.
I think that when I start hearing the North Shore team, I'm like, oh, it's about time for ACPE again. And that means there's trivia night. And I remember doing trivia night in 2020 on Zoom when we, were doing like an all virtual conference, and it wasn't like 2021 where we had time to do things like the art night and the cooking class and all of that. But we pulled off trivia at the last minute, and it was brilliant and wonderful and just as funny on Zoom in those early months when the world was so turned upside down. And it's even better when we're together. And yes, that team has done such a great job for so many years caring for this, like smack talking, just people having fun, hanging out together, low pressure, low stakes trivia night. And I think it was small when I used to start attending. It was maybe, I don't know, a few dozen of us who would get there on Tuesday evenings, maybe more. But it definitely feels like it's grown significantly year over year.
Yeah, last I looked, I think we had 115 people signed up for trivia. There will be good prizes again this year, as always.
The other thing that was cool last year was the cardio jam.
Yeah,
I mean, there were like a ton of things were cool last year, but I popped in the cardio jam for a while, and it was
one of my coworkers did that, and she said it was a really great time. I think that's a fun thing to offer, different than everything else that we have going on Wednesday morning. And I think that the folks that are there, are just looking to engage before we enter sponsor sessions that afternoon and then get the whole showcase kicked off that night. So it's a fun way to kick off the day.
So Cory, we've touched on a few things in the lawn games. Can you kind of run down everything that's happening?
We've talked a little bit about all of them individually, but Wednesday, so we have the golf tournament. Check-in is at 8:30, is a kickoff shotgun start at 9. That usually wraps up around noon. I think there were some issues last year with getting lunch after, so I'm going to try to make sure that they can keep the buffet out to make sure golfers can still eat after the tournament. We'll have lawn games out on that nice, beautiful front Skamania Lodge lawn that's hosted by CTL. They'll have ladder ball and Yardsie and giant Jenga and cornhole and all the classics. We'll also have a nature walk that's at 9 and a 5K that's at 9. There's 2 different trails for those, but the trailheads are pretty much right next to each other, and we'll have a board member out there to help you find them. And then we're also having the cardio jam that's hosted by Melissa with Intermountain. So I think that it's going to be a fun kickoff to the conference on Wednesday. And then we move into sponsor sessions that day before the sponsor showcase that evening. So it's a pretty packed day, but a good first one. And then Thursday, we have wrapped up sponsor sessions and kickoff community sessions. We had a really great list this year of submissions that the board was able to review and select from. It's exciting to see, the increase of submissions that we get every year and the quality of them. And then we'll have our first keynote, Marco Chardon, and then some more sessions until we move into our ACPE social and dinner that night before our second night of the sponsor showcase. So, and then, wrap up Friday, we'll have some more community sessions, our closing keynote, and then our business meeting where we get to share all of our scholarship winners and their fun projects that they worked on. And then we'll do our closing raffle, which I'm really excited about. We've got some really great gifts being donated by sponsors this year. And yeah, that's pretty much kind of the overview of the few days. Is there anything else that I didn't highlight about the week that would be good?
Speaking of highlight, I mean, seriously highlighting like sparkly things.
I still haven't ordered myself a glittery jacket.
You are running out of time. I'm looking at mine right now.
Thankfully.
But it's a reminder. It's not just our sponsors we're asking to theme and dress up. We want everybody to be shiny and sparkly and join us in having some fun with this theme. I think it will be terrific. Please do. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I think the idea of a time to shine lends itself to sparkly, shiny things, obviously shine, but I think it's also a statement of who you are as a person. So a great example of me isn't the sparkle jacket is a great example of me.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I know. I also have a suit jacket that's cheetah print, and I might bring a cheetah print jacket with me because, it's kind of me. So, I think it's, sorry, Rachel.
I'm just wondering where's he going to go with this? Because you don't get much more like shiny by personality than Mark.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a great, we talked about it in the last podcast. We talked about what the Women in Tech group is going to do. I believe it's on Thursday, right?
I think so.
All wearing the same shirt. Well, not whoever has it or whatever. I think don't let me deter people from embracing this theme in any way that they would like to embrace this theme. I think it's all about you and your personality and how you want to represent yourself. I just like really loud things.
I am thinking that I'm going to come down the hallway on like one of the wings, and Ducky from Pretty in Pink is going to be there, looping it back to movies. Or Olivia Newton-John at the end of Grease.
I have some pants that I'm going to wear. Speaking of Olivia Newton-John and Grease, might make you think of it.
What's the confidence that the possibly bought from some sketchy vendor online pants are
going to make it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be a one-time use pant.
Anybody in ACPE land, the olds, if we still have casino chips, now's the time to place your bets on the story of ACPE 2025. Sorry, Jennifer Clouser, that may revolve around Mark's pants.
Hopefully not falling apart.
Well, okay, so this doesn't give everybody fair right to try and make them fall apart.
No,
we don't want that for you.
We don't want that for anybody.
No.
Every episode, the reminder, right? Like, no touching people unless you get permission.
I mean,
it's a joke, but it's also serious.
I know. No one's ever asked permission when I'm wearing the jacket.
Yeah. I'm trying to get better about, not just hugging people, but just doing a tap on the shoulder or the elbow. So that obviously
I will give right now.
This.
I am giving my consent to everybody. If you really want to touch the sequin jacket, you can touch my arm, shoulder and arm. That's where we're at.
Shoulder and arm.
Shoulder and arm.
No back.
Let's keep it professional, people. This is a jacket I would wear to work.
It is a jacket that you have worn to work the past few weeks.
Kind of, yeah.
Yes.
Kind of. Very much so, yeah.
Yeah.
So then, Cory, after we send everybody away after the ice cream social, you get to go to a spa for a week or just sleep for the weekend?
Probably sleep for the weekend. It always falls, or usually falls, that Mother's Day weekend happens after the conference. So it kind of works out well for me, and I can just say, Hi, family. Bye, family. I will be in bed
Yes.
for a couple of days.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm usually on a kind of adrenaline rush, like because it's so fun. No matter how tired I am, it doesn't really kick in until like Saturday or Sunday because I'm thinking about all the fun things. And normally I've been dreaming about all the things for the couple of months leading up to it because I am just thinking about it all the time. And I have
Yeah.
these very vivid dreams of like being at the conference and oh, I forgot about all the tickets or, some sort of
Yes. Sitting
terrible mishap.
straight upright.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
This might be another fever dream moment, but I call Cory a lot. I know it drives her crazy, but I call her all the time. So I'm like, hey, what about this? And what about that? Didn't you tell me you had a dream about me in the conference? Was that you?
Well, I had told you I had a dream the night before. I think I was telling you how my dreams had shifted from being kind of hypothetical conference situations to like very specific conference situations where I think, did that happen? Or did I dream this? Is this going to happen? So I don't think you were in it necessarily, but I had talked about a conference dream with you when we talked
Okay.
about it, I think.
Next
Maybe you
time.
were in it. I don't remember.
This is
Too
so
many.
this is such a good illustration of when we started this episode introducing Cory and the heart, the brain. Like the brain is super important on just how good you are at understanding how to host an event and put it together, and how good at learning the lodge and all of the like how best to do things. But this part about like, you know, like it's in your dreams at this point is that heart and soul of the conference.
I
And
mean, I feel like we're driving you crazy.
just you, Mark.
I'm going mad. No, this is not a cry for help. I'm okay. I'm not being held hostage by the board.
I think it's just Mark essentially. Like the
Yeah,
rest of us are pretty chill.
It's just Mark. It's okay though.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I think that it's cool because I love it and it's such a special conference to get to be a part of, and seeing how much the community gets excited for it and like waits all year for the ACPE conference. That is huge and really special and not something that you get from a lot of professional conferences where people are like actively anxious and waiting to go for both the professional side of it and the fun side of it. And so I just think it's really special and I feel really lucky to get to be a part of it. So I'm excited to be back there. And, it's cool because the more years I do it, the more I understand things in the community and what people want and what works and what doesn't. And so it's always exciting at this time being so close and getting to have another year under our belts and then, start discussing what to change again for next year and how to make it even better. So it's an exciting time.
Well, if you read Discord, people want axe throwing. That was today's conversation.
I saw that. And nachos.
Yeah.
And I unfortunately cannot deliver on either. So
Yeah.
my
I do remember that.
apologies.
I remember the axe throwing years at the resort, and it is fun. But in terms of continuing to listen and learn and grow, there have been a lot of process things that we've changed and also some exciting things on the horizon. I know that we are expanding the shuttles this year. Is that right?
Yeah, I think being in this remote location that we're in the gorge, it is important to have safe transportation for everybody to get home. And we know that not everybody can stay on site. Skamania has 270 guest rooms, and that doesn't even close to accommodate all of our attendees. So one thing we've tried to do to help make that less of an inconvenience is offer all-day shuttles. They run from 7 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. in addition to one late night shuttle that will be available down at the tree houses until 1:30 a.m. So if you want to stay and hang out for that late night event, you can still enjoy the shuttle on your way home. The shuttle drivers, it's Martin's Gorge Tours. They've been in the Hood River Gorge area for many, many years, and they are absolutely fantastic. And we've learned that even though we have 5 set locations as our pickup and drop off spots, they will pretty much take you anywhere as long as it's not super, super far out of the way. So if you're staying at a little Airbnb or a hotel that's close to one of our other main spots, they will likely make a quick little excursion and get you where you need to go. So don't hesitate to let them know that if you're worried about having to walk from the main drop off to your hotel. It's dark out there in the gorge at night, and safety is key. So we have 2 pickups in Oregon, one at the Best Western, the Columbia Gorge or Columbia River Inn, Best Western in Cascade Locks. We have 1 other Oregon shuttle at the Columbia Gorge Inn, which is just down the street a little bit in Cascade Locks. And then we have 3 in Washington, 1 at the Hotel Stevenson, which is right in the main downtown strip. So if you're staying at any of those other locations right around there, that's where I mentioned they'll likely take you where you need to go. And then we have 1 in Carson at the Carson Luxury Cabins, in addition to 1 at the Bonneville Hot Springs Resort. And that's our new location this year. The Bonneville Hot Springs Resort was closed for many years for renovations, and they just reopened a couple months ago. And so we were able to offer that as another nearby hotel option for attendees. And we're hopeful that they'll add even more rooms next year, and we can have a nice overflow block maybe there and the Best Western and be all set for all of our attendees. But so that shuttle, like I said, will run all day on a constant loop from 7 to 11:30. They estimate it takes about 15 to 20 minutes per trip. So you may have to wait just a minute or two. But yeah, we hope that you'll all be able, oh, Guppy.
And Guppy makes a cameo.
What a sweetheart.
For those listening in to this episode, Guppy is Mark's dog, who is not spoiled at all.
Not at all. Nor
Not
is she.
Not at all.
Best girl, only child.
Yes, and she's quite tall.
Muppet.
She just, yeah, she is a Muppet. And now she's gone. Goodbye.
No. Well, so we're hopeful that that helps people with the inconvenience of staying off site again. And I'm doing my best to talk Scamania into building more guest rooms as quickly as possible.
Yes.
So TBD.
Yes. And that the Bonneville Hot Springs is an important addition. That was really great news earlier this year when you discovered it.
Yeah, that's going to be a great addition. It's just like 8 minutes away from the lodge. So that'll be wonderful. And it looks really lovely too. So
yes. Any final thoughts that you want to add before we start winding down this episode 3 of Plugged In?
I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody at the lodge. If you are trying to find help, find me. I'm usually running all around doing something, and I'm always happy to help. I have my team from OETC that will be at the registration desk this year. I do want to point out we won't be in the main lobby this year, so when you walk in and you don't see us with our registration desks, don't think that you can't register. There will be signs pointing you down to a different location down the main conference corridor, but we'll have team members there all day, each day of the conference, and so just never hesitate to stop by and ask for help. We want to be accessible to you, and we'll have lots of handouts, but use Sketch, please. Handouts are great, and if you like paper, we'll have them, but Sketch is going to be your point of truth on site for session rooms, raffle locations and times. We'll send messages out in Sketch if there is a change to a session room, letting you know, hey, this room changed. So it's a really good tool to have while you're on site and, refer to throughout the day, not only for your personal schedule and knowing where you're supposed to be when, but for getting those updates and alerts. And we've also got all the links there for maps and the shuttle schedule and the store details. So it's a really good tool to use while you're there.
And the dance lessons.
And most importantly, the dance lessons.
New addition. Cory, you touched on one last thing, and that is, first of all, I want to say that while we have a contract with OETC for your time and your skill and your work on this event each year, I think we do share thanks and feel really grateful for OETC's entire team this time of year, because this is not a small conference. It never has been. It's always been volunteer led, like the board works. We work from very early in the morning through very late at night now. Thanks, Mark Elliott. Very early the next morning. It's the best. I'm joking, of course. It is a conference that we all go home and crash and sleep for a weekend at the end of. But as we've grown, the lodge is much more spread out in a good way than the resort, and just having your full team has been a welcome addition and keeps the information flowing and registration lines flowing and lunch buffet lines flowing and all of the flowing.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And they're also fun on the dance floor.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
And I, being, a remote team now, we all look forward to this week that we get to spend together as well. So
that's an excellent benefit too. Yes. So one last note on tying back information and how to do things. For a number of years, we started this little Discord server back during the pandemic as a way to stay connected. And it has become a heartbeat for many people. And other people are still kind of like, I don't know if I'm Discord. The beauty of this is, and you can see me like trying to get rid of my blue reflection in my glasses when I'm doing this at this point in the evening as the sun has gone down and it's gotten dark. I talk about the river flowing, like information especially in this day and age, is sometimes you just have to let it be like the river flowing by and you catch the things you need to catch. So SCED in this conference setting is the more fixed information. There's schedules and maps. There's links to resources from sessions and things like that. Discord is the more casual chatter place where we'll throw photos, we'll do smack talk and trivia night shenanigans and things like that. Probably some photo walls like we did last year, people putting in their best shot or things they want to remember. And then lots of chatter about the activities, but it's the more casual space. It's certainly helpful, I think, during the conference, but it's not required because SCED really is the source of truth for what's happening when. If Mark or I or any of our colleagues and friends say in Discord, like, this is happening then at this date, unless you see Cory confirming or unless it says the exact same thing in SCED, don't believe it. And it won't be on purpose.
No one.
It'll just be on accident because Cory knows it all, and the board, we just like to think we know it all. I say that fondly.
Fever dreams.
Fever dreams. Mark, any last thoughts for you tonight?
No, I'm just excited. I get excited for weeks leading up to this. I think, one of my favorite things about this week and last week in particular is the absolute ramp up of Discord. It is going off right now. And I think it just shows the excitement that all of our attendees in membership have, just knowing that the conference is around the corner. Lots of smack talk. I think it's a testament to our organization of how much we trust and enjoy each other and have trust in each other's presence, that we can have that fun. And I'm just excited. I'm excited to see people and wear my jacket.
The jackets.
To touch your jacket shoulder and feel the sequins.
I mean, the helmet will be there, but
yes.
it's actual mirror. So don't touch that. I might cut your hand.
Noted.
And you will sweat. You're only going to wear that like 2 minutes at a time, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't put anything past me. I just need someone to follow me around with a laser pointer and point it at my head, and we'll have a full-on disco ball. It'll be great.
Oh my gosh. And you will spin you around.
Yep. Perfect.
Sounds like a great plan.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of my thoughts. It's just such a beautiful location, just come and enjoy it with us.